Hey guys, this is Adam Gussow from Modern Blues Harmonica, and what you heard in the little opening track was a portion of a forthcoming album that my Blues Doctors duo is making. That was Rollin' and Tumblin' with my guitar man Alan Gross on guitar and vocals, and yours truly on drums and harmonica. Now let me tell you why I'm coming to you today. By the way, I'm coming to you from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, one of those rare kind of from the road videos. We've been on the road. We are crispy, we are toast, we are Peking fried duck at this point. Man, we are. It's been a lot of miles and a lot of in too few days. Here's why I'm talking to you. Hill Country Harmonica. If you Google that phrase, you'll come to the Legacy website and you'll see all sorts of stuff from 2010, 11, and 12. But the Hill Country Harmonica is happening again. Finally, I can't believe it. It's happening again. This May 17th through 20th. It's happening where it happened last time, at Foxfire Ranch, run by Bill and Annie Hollowell in Waterford, Mississippi. It's a 50-mile Uber ride. They now have Uber from the Memphis International Airport. It's, you know, it's Mid-South, it's Mississippi, and it's the largest collection of blues harmonica players in the world. Probably 100 to 150 is sort of what our hope is, and that's sort of, in the past years, we've had 100 to 132. It's a tribal gathering, and I've wanted to talk about this for a long time. We have all our headliners in place. Obviously, the Blues Doctors will be there. I'm going to play Dr. Gussow, but I want to tell you a little bit. I'm going to sort of talk about some of the people we have coming. First of all, our headliner is somebody that, if you're a YouTube follower of mine, well, on either of my channels, you know that back in early 2007 I started doing this YouTube stuff. My hero, when I started at the age of 16, was Magic Dick of the J. Giles Band. The Whammer Jammer Man. He's our headliner. So that's number one, and we're incredibly grateful. I asked him if he'd ever been to Mississippi. He goes, well, maybe J. Giles played one show at some point. The point is, this doesn't happen very often. Magic Dick at Hill Country Harmonica. So that's number one. Number two, we're bringing back Charlie Sayles, who was there either in 2011 or 2012. I honestly can't remember. Because, you know, if you can remember everything that happened at Hill Country Harmonica, you weren't there. So... but Charlie Sayles, the great D.C. area, actually from the Boston area, but the great, I mean, the Mojo Man himself. He was like one of the very first calls that we made. We're also bringing back, I think he was 2000, I think he was 2011, I'm not sure. Mitch Kashmar, the great West Coast player with his big chromatic, one of my heroes. Just, there's not a lot of harp players out there doing modern stuff that totally, I say, what the hell is that guy doing? But he's one of those guys. I can't wait to have him. And I should say, by the way, that this is, let me just pause. What is Hill Country Harmonica? It's not just a festival. It's not just a teaching event. It's basically a kind of tribal gathering and happening that includes both of those things. There is camping on site. So that's number one. If you're thinking, I don't have the money for this, the price for Hill Country Harmonica for 4 days, $225. Now, it was $175 for 3 days back in 2012. So we've raised the price a little. That's still incredibly inexpensive for this sort of thing. $225 gets you in the door, gets you all the teaching you can suck up for 3 days, and you'll probably arrive midday on Thursday, and you may depart, you know, late afternoon on Sunday. Although you can stay through Sunday night if you want and get the Hollowells and their usual Hill Country bash that happens every Sunday evening down here in the Hill Country. There's also camping on site, and I think it's $15 per person per night, so that's really cheap. And there's obviously hotel rooms if you're somebody who doesn't want to camp out under the stars in Mississippi, and you know, there might be a mosquito or two trying to get through the netting. It's not that bad in May, but that could happen. So if you want a hotel room, there are plenty of hotels and motels in Holly Springs, Mississippi, or in Oxford, which is about 20 miles south of the venue. Holly Springs is about 7 or 8 miles north of the venue. The venue is an outdoor thing, so this is a big party. But let me keep going. So we have Magic Dick, we have Charlie Sayles with Tony Fazio on guitar. If you were there in the earlier versions of this, you saw Charlie and Charlie and Tony do their thing. My Blues Doctors duo is going to be there. Todd Todd Parrott is going to be there, who is, I've always said, if there was one guy who really should be a star, is sort of big American star, Americana star, it's Todd. He's the countryside of the blues. He's like Charlie McCoy on amphetamines, but beautiful playing, uses overblows, uses overdraws. He's one of my, it's like the guys that really capture my attention. And he's a great teacher. He was here in 2011 and 12. He blew everybody away with his, I mean, he does a sort of play-along thing to jam tracks that he's recorded every instrument on. So this guy is a phenom, incredibly nice guy. So there's teaching all day. I'll keep going. Teaching all day. There's jam sessions where you get to have a little drink and maybe get up there and get through your inhibitions or show everybody what you can do. We got Jimi Lee, by the way, is coming. Jimi Lee from Austin, Texas, the greatest rack-mounted harp player. Well, there's a friend of mine out in Victoria, BC, who's really, really good. Dave is really good, but Jimi Lee is right up there with the very, very best for rack harp, and he can play, he sings and plays Frank Sinatra and does rack harp on Frank Sinatra tunes, playing acoustic guitar. So if you've never heard of Jimi Lee, you got to check him out. We only bring you the best. Brandon Bailey, my friend, somebody I met when he was 16, and he was playing Whammer Jammer, and he won a Star Search competition with Whammer Jammer. Brandon Bailey out of South Memphis. He's been off in many places in the country. He's coming back. And so he'll do that harp boxing thing if you're interested in a little more contemporary / urban take on blues and harmonica. Brandon has a rhythm-heavy thing. He's also doing some really interesting recordings in a more contemporary R&B thing. So I can't wait to see what he'll have to share. And he's a great teacher. He's been there all 3 years, so this will be his 4th year. We have some special guests. Andrew Zajac coming down from Canada, who's going to be showing you how to modify harps. He's a custom harp guy, so he'll be there. And what else? There's a lot. There's a bunch of young cats that are coming down, teaching during the day, jam sessions, and then basically a private festival for 125 to 150 blues harmonica maniacs, with sort of 3 acts on Friday night, 3 acts on Saturday night. It doesn't get any better, and there's a power that comes from being in the presence of people like you. So if this speaks to you, we had people from 33 states in 2011, I think, 33 states and 7 or 8 foreign countries. So people came from a long way. This was dreamed up by me and actually Jason Ritchie some years ago. We sort of had a brainstorm and said, what about if we got the people who liked us on YouTube and they decided they wanted to kind of come, make that pilgrimage, come to Mississippi if you've never been to Mississippi, knowing you'll come to a place where you're going to be with people just like you, with that Mississippi flavor. It'll be warm. Hopefully it won't be hot. And it wasn't hot 2 of the years. It got a little warm 1 of the years, but it's really cool. It's a gazebo outdoors, and just all the playing and fraternizing. The Hollowells cook incredible soul food dinners. The only complaint we had 1 year, somebody said there was no vegetarian options because that pork and that chicken and all of the southern vegetables and beans cooked the way Southerners lovingly know how to cook them. They wanted vegetarian. So I will ask the Hollowells if they can work that up, but it's going to be really, really, really good food, home-cooked food. That's not part of the $225, by the way. You got to pay for the food. But the tuition and the festival, and that's all part. That's what you get for $225. Well, I'm going to mention our sponsors because we've got some great guys coming. In fact, Greg Heumann with Blows Away Productions.
Blows Me Away Productions.
Blows Away Mics.
Blows Me Away Productions, not Blows Away or Blow Away Productions. Blows Me Away Productions. That's Greg Heuman's company.
Greg is a guy who came in. He probably will do that this time. We haven't worked that out. But he'll come and he'll talk about mics and amps. So well, if you're a gearhead, now gear's important. I think I'm into the spiritual element and the sound, the acoustic sound, but gear is important at some point to really learn a lot of the stuff about that. And Greg knows more than almost anybody that I've met. Lee Oscar is one of our sponsors, so you'll have a chance there'll be some giveaways actually, and some raffles and stuff like that. Lee Oscar, great harps. Harpwa is a sponsor. Rolly Platt, the incredible Canadian harmonica player, has a thing called the Harpwa. And of course, SPA, the Society for the Preservation and Advancement of Harmonica. They're one of our sponsors. We're grateful to our sponsors. Hayburner Oil Can Guitars. Well, those will be there. Lone Wolf will be there. Another one of our sponsors, Lone Wolf. They have incredible pedals. Randy Landry. if you're, and Sean has said, mention 3 tracks, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So here's actually a cool element. Let's say you're a beginning player and you say, is this event for me? Adam, I came across your videos 3 months ago. I've been playing a lot, but after 3 months, will this make sense to me? Yes. Well, number one is the festival element makes incredible sense. And so to see really good players do what they do in front of other blues harmonica players, including other pros, is a really instructive thing. In fact, one of the great videos we got out of Hill Country Harmonica was a pro jam, and I'll try to post you a link to that if I can remember to do that. But there's a pro jam that had like 12. I didn't even participate because I knew I would get I got kicked. Let's just say I would have gotten kicked, so I didn't even participate. That's how high-powered it was. That's how high-powered it was. It was incredible. So there'll be that sort of thing. But you're a beginner. We have 3 or 4. I think we're going to do what we did last time, was have 4 concurrent sessions. So if you're a beginner, there will always be a session that's just for beginners. You're not going to have to share space with advanced players who, sit back and wish that the teacher were talking about more advanced stuff. They'll have their own clinics. If you're an advanced player, vice versa. There's always going to be one advanced session, and there'll be 2 sessions, sort of intermediate 1, intermediate 2, or there'll be 2 just general intermediate sessions. So you intermediate people, and most people are in that category, will have teachers, Mitch Kashmar, Adam Gussow, Todd Parrott, Jimi Lee. We'll have a couple of breakouts, I think, with Magic Dick. Charlie Sayles, maybe 1 or 2. Sometimes with players, the best players. Occasionally, I just give them a big interview in front of everybody. So with Magic Dick, I've said, look, Dick, I want you to come and teach people how to play Whammer Jammer. Can you talk to us about what you did back then? This is like a boy fan thing, but I want him to do that, and he's going to do that. So maybe that's the only reason you decide to come. You want Magic. You want to sit there while Magic Dick talks to you about what he's doing on Whammer Jammer. For me, that would be enough. If I were in your position, that would be enough. And then the festivals and watching him do his thing with our band. What else? 3 tracks, beginner. That's it. So that's Hill Country Harmonica. Are you going to come down? I really hope you will. If you come down, we will shake hands. I will listen to you play. I'll make you play. I did that with somebody in the club here in Lancaster last night. And he played, and he did my version of Sunshine of Your Love. And I don't have any harmonicas. They're all in the car. He did Sunshine of Your Love. And I only heard one thing wrong. The blue third wasn't quite working. Everything else was really good. And I was able to quickly point him to it and say, that's what you need to work on if you came to me for a private lesson. So I'll be able to do little bits and pieces of that. And I think I'll be available, and a few other teachers will be available on Thursday. We'll try to make some time for some one-off private lessons. I won't talk about what I charge $65 an hour, so I'm not too expensive in terms of the big guns. Billy Branch charges $100, right? So some of the guys charge a lot. Anyway, are you ready? Are you ready? That's it. That's it. So I'm going to give you a little outro from the Blues Doctors. I hope to see you at Hill Country Harmonica. I'm going to give you the link, but just Google Hill Country Harmonica, and you should get pretty quickly to Sean's page, Sean Whalen O'Phelan. Did I forget to say? The reason this whole thing is happening is that Sean, who puts on the Midwest Harmonica workshops that I've taught at several of those, he's the guy I knew that had the skill set to make this event work. And he agreed, and he's come on. And let's hope this isn't the last year. Let's hope that this can become an ongoing thing. You want to, but we never know. I mean, anything can happen. So if you're planning on coming next year, don't plan to come this year. You need to. It's been 6 years since the last one. Don't assume that somehow everything will always work out. If you know blues, that's a bad idea. But this one's going to happen. It is happening. And that's it. All right. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. See you down the road. Bye-bye. One final thing, and actually this is important. Sean reminded me to tell you. Let's say you have a significant other, or you have kids. They're cheaper. Kids under 12, I think there are 50, but you have to check this. I know significant others are $50. So you can bring the wife or girlfriend, or if you're ladies, if you're coming, you can bring your guy, and $50. Okay, as long as they're not sitting in on the classes, and just as long as they're there for the concerts and the general, touring, maybe going to the Delta on a day trip. Remember that all those things are possible. So we're going to see you at Hill Country Harmonica. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Baby, sit on daddy's knee. Tell everybody what they done to me. A river was whiskey, I was a diving duck.